I'm just a poor wayfaring stranger.
Hello, and this is going to be a bonus Weardale Way special. And I'm with Melina and Jason. It's always bothered me that the Weardale Way started at Killhope Lead Mining Museum, which is behind those trees down the bottom there. I always thought that it should start at Killhope Cross. So what we're going to do is start at Killhope Cross, and then we're going to go across the moors here to Killhope Law, which is Hewitt. It's one of the highest mountains in Northumberland, but it's shared with County Durham. The border of County Durham and Northumberland go there. So at the moment we're on the border between County Durham and Cumbria, and then I'll feel like I've done the Weardale Way properly, because then I've walked along the watershed for the River Wear. This here is the A689, and it's England's highest A road. It's also England's joint highest paved pass. This here is Killhope Cross. It's medieval in origin, but it was moved here in the 18th century. There's an 1863 boundary stone. I'm wondering if the C stands for county or Cumbria. But quite cool. And as you can see, we're just bashing our way through heather and peat hags. Our final destination's over there, Killhope Law, and then we'll drop down to Killhope Lead Mining Museum. So we're busy following this like almost old fence. There's like a small trench as well through the peat. That's the border between Durham and Cumbria. Eventually we'll meet the border with Northumberland, and then we follow the Northumberland-Durham border to the top of Killhope Law. We've got huge peat hags here. Those peat hags there are almost the size of me. You'll not be able to see that on the camera. I wouldn't like to come here in the wet. You can definitely not do this in the wet. This is probably why it's not part of the Weardale Way. But it's really awesome, it really makes you feel alive. This small cairn here marks the boundary between County Durham, Northumberland and Cumbria. So you got Northumberland on this side, Cumbria's on that side, and Durham's this side. They're marked out by a trench. There's like a trench here that comes along here and continues over there. It's difficult to make out in the peat. And it's the same with this side. What we've done is we followed these fence posts, these old fence posts, which is the old border. There's some cloudberries. This is for people who think that grouse moors or monocultures of heather. So yeah, obviously we have heather, but in here we've got bilberries. Over here we've got cotton grass, and over here we've got cloudberries. Down in the bottom here we've got sphagnum moss, and we've got various other types of mosses and lichens as well. You see here obviously we've got heather, but we've got this plant here, which obviously I'm not a botanist, so I don't know. These ones here are cloudberries, cotton grass. You've got this kind of moss, which is like the normal kind of moss by the looks of it, what you usually get. You've got some kind of fungi growing here as well. And this grouse moor, it's got a poor selection of grasses compared to some of the others that I've been on. But bear in mind that we're right up on the watershed here. If you go down a little bit more, there'll be a lot more different types of grass. But grouse moors are not monocultures of heather. And anyone who tries to say it is being disingenuous. There are plenty of arguments to be had against grouse shooting without having to tell lies.
How they're going more and more mental to get closer.
Oh. They're the chicks. So,
Are the seagulls trying to eat them?
no. So all these seagulls here are actually nesting. And their chicks are in that pool of water over there. So this is the top of Killhope Law. It's one of the highest summits in both Northumberland and Durham, shared by us both. There are actually two summits. There's the Trig Point here, and there's the cairn on the other side. So we'll do both in any case, although I've done them before. And the views are spectacular here. Between the two summit markers, the Trig Point looks closer to the actual top. But here's the other summit at Killhope Law. Down the bottom there, where the trees are, that's Killhope Lead Mining Museum. That's where the Weardale Way starts. It's a very windy day, so let's see if we can take some shelter here. That wall's definitely not structurally sound. Yeah, let's be out the wind. Sexy peat. So we've been fed and watered, and now we're on the Carrier's Way, which is an old route that was used by pack horses carrying lead to a place called Dukesfield near Slaley, where they smelted the lead. I've actually walked the Carrier's Way, so I've got a video. I'll put a link below if you're interested. So, here is the official start of the Weardale Way. However, I think that we should have started at Killhope Cross. Got across the moors, over the top of Killhope Law, and then dropped down to here for the start. And the Weardale Way goes up there. There's a nice cafe in the museum which you can access without having to pay for museum entrance. However, the museum itself is quite good. It's a good place to visit. I'll put a link below of the last time I was at the museum. And because this is the start of the Weardale Way, now we're just going to walk back up the road back to the car. I'll call it a day on this, on the video. So thank you for watching. Please like, comment below, subscribe and share with your friends on social media, and I'll catch you on the next one. And the next one will be Weardale Way again. It'll be the last section of the Weardale Way, so from the first section to the last section. So catch you on the next one, everybody. Thank you for watching.
Wayfaring stranger, traveling through this world of